Chevy just unveiled the 2023 C8 Corvette E-Ray, Chevy's first electrified Corvette. But there is something that they're not telling you. Because the E-Ray has all-wheel drive, Chevy says it is the fastest Corvette 0 to 60 in just 2.5 seconds. And they're also saying it does the quarter mile in 10.5 seconds, which is mighty darn quick. These numbers are very close to the Z06. So how exactly are they pulling this off? Well, we're going to start with the classic LT2 engine, which makes, in this configuration, 495 horsepower and about 470 pound-feet of torque, basically the same as the regular Corvette. But we're going to add two things. We're going to add a battery pack, which is going to be in the center tunnel, and we're going to add an electric motor up front. This electric motor is good for 160 horsepower and 125 pound-feet of torque. That is actually not insignificant at all. And the battery pack is a 1.9 kilowatt-hour battery pack. So we're actually talking about a fair bit of additional power and torque above the regular Stingray. And that number combined is 655 horsepower, which is not very far off the Z06. Now they remember to tell you all those things because those are all good things to hear. And there's some other pretty cool things too. Now this is not a plug-in hybrid, this is just a conventional hybrid. And don't think Prius, think more along the lines of Acura NSX. This is a performance variant of the hybrid. This is a mild hybrid is what they call it. And so the electrification is designed to give you additional performance, additional power, additional acceleration, and actually additional snow driving capabilities too. That's kind of a big thing that they make out in their video. So there's a couple cool features here. It does have something called stealth mode, which is the ability to start your car and run it up to 45 miles per hour on just the electric power alone. That's pretty cool. As I mentioned in my last video, that could be good if you're trying to sneak in at night or maybe sneak out of your neighborhood. That seems a little more realistic, I think. They also did mention that it comes with carbon ceramic brakes, which of course are rather expensive. We'll talk about the price in just a second. And it does have a new lightweight 12-volt lithium battery pack, which is designed to power this new electric motor up front. You do get standard magnetic ride suspension, which is pretty cool. And here's one thing that they didn't really tell you, although they did mention in the press release, is that it starts off with all-season tires. Now you can get the optional Michelin Pilot Sport 4S summer tires. Yeah, that's cool, but the base one just comes with Michelin All Seasons, which I think is a first for a Corvette. So we've got all-wheel drive, courtesy of the front electric motor, and all-season tires. Okay, now you can actually use the electric motor in two different ways. We just talked about stealth mode, where you can get out of your neighborhood pretty quietly. You're going to be able to use it until your battery pack is used up. That would be the first condition, or until you're asking for more acceleration than just the electric motor alone can provide. So once you use the battery pack, the electric, or rather the gas motor, is going to kick in. But the second condition which you can use the electric motor is for performance optimization, and they actually say you can use this on track. The performance traction management system will be used in conjunction with the E all-wheel drive, so it's going to be able to selectively apply power and torque to the front wheels as needed to get you out of corners faster. And you can actually precondition or sort of charge up the battery by using the Charge Plus function, which will allow you to put more juice into the battery. And I guess if you're doing shorter lapping sessions, that's going to give you that additional boost. But there is something that they haven't told you about this whole system yet. And that's not even the price. And that brings us first to today's sponsor. You're trying to sell your car, you're going to a bunch of dealers, Facebook Marketplace. Shouldn't be this hard. I really struggled selling my last car, which is why I have partnered up with Carmigo, who is the sponsor of today's video. And look, I only partner with brands that I actually believe in, and Carmigo makes it really simple. All you do is you upload your car to their nationwide network of dealers, and in about a business day, you're gonna get some offers. If you wanna try Carmigo, you'll get $50 off their $350 seller's fee when you sell your car. Just click the link down below. And here's what Chevy didn't really tell you, and that is the weight of this thing. This is by far the heaviest Corvette ever by a long shot. The base Stingray, 3,366 pounds. That's actually pretty light for what it is. The Z06 only adds 68 pounds over that at 3,434. But this E-Ray, just in the hardtop version, not even the convertible, is 3,774 pounds. That is 408 pounds heavier than the base Stingray. So we do have more performance, we do have more traction, and we do have a lot more weight. 408 pounds is basically the weight of 2 passengers. That is a lot of additional weight. And in my opinion, weight is the antithesis of performance. So yeah, we are going the Acura NSX route. We are doing the electrification thing to add performance, but this car is really a stepping stone to the full EV Corvette, which is going to be available sometime later this decade. So that's kind of where we're at. Give me your thoughts on that. Oh, and by the way, if you want some open-top motoring with your electrified Corvette, you're going to be looking at 3,856 pounds. Let's just call it 3,900. That is a hefty, hefty car indeed. We also need to talk about the power to weight ratio here too. So what I've got is this chart is the Stingray has 495 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque. We're talking about 6.8 pounds per horsepower. That's actually quite good in terms of performance cars. After all, the Stingray is a good performance car, value for the money. I guess one could argue that, although the Mustang is certainly creeping up on that. Now with the Z06, we are looking at about 175 horsepower bump over that. The car weighs slightly more, 460 pound-feet of torque, so 5.1 pounds per horsepower. That's really, really good. That is a powerful car indeed. Power to weight is really good. But the E-Ray, 655 horsepower. Now, they haven't released the exact torque numbers combined yet here, but it could be 470 plus 175 coming up to, I guess that would be 595. So 5.8 pounds per horsepower. Now, that is a pretty reasonable number, but again, this is a pretty hefty car. And as you keep going up, you can sort of play with these numbers and get more horsepower, but weight always comes at the detriment of handling. And as I mentioned in my last video, we're actually getting what appears to be the full Z06 body on this thing. So it's pretty much indistinguishable from a regular Z06 unless you look at the E-Ray badging. And we do have carbon ceramic brakes as standard, which is part of the reason why this thing is so darn expensive. And of course, this is highly customizable like the regular Stingray. We've got 4 aluminum wheel finishes. You can get 14 exterior colors, including Riptide Blue, which is new, Seawolf Gray, and Cacti. And there are optional carbon fiber wheels and carbon flash and visible carbon fiber or visible carbon fiber with a red stripe. Obviously, this is going to add a lot more money to this thing. You're going to be able to jack this thing up to a pretty penny, well over 100 grand. But what are people saying about the Corvette E-Ray on social media? Well, there are some presidential jokes over here. The first 10 owners received classified documents to store in their garage. That's not a Corvette anymore. Only $100K markup over MSRP. Why not just buy a Z06? And not bad. I'll be waiting for the Z01 though. Now, no one outside of Chevy has been able to drive the C8 E-Ray yet. If you want to see another video on performance cars, click right over here. Thanks for watching.